Hello everyone, in this video I'm gonna be showing you how did I make my own SIEM tool from scratch with Python. And if you are interested in cybersecurity and you already know some Python basics, then I think this video is for you. But in the beginning, we need to know what is a SIEM tool. Basically, a SIEM tool is a software that collects security logs and then analyzes them to detect suspicious activity. And SIEM stands for Security Information and Event Management. And our SIEM tool would be composed of 4 different scripts. The first one is a collector that collects the logs. The second one is a parser, and it basically means that we're gonna take unstructured and hard to read logs that looks like this to a more structured format, and in this video would be particularly using the JSON format, and it looks like this. The third script is a detector that analyzes the past logs and apply detection rules that can flag dangerous activities like brute force attacks if there were too many incorrect password attempts in a short period of time. Finally, we don't want to run each script separately every time, so we'll have one file that runs all the other scripts in one go, in a very efficient way. So let's actually start reviewing the code. Starting with the collector script, first thing we did is creating a new function called collect logs, and this basically opens the file that contains the unstructured logs and saves them in the lines variable. In the next block of code is a main guard, and it ensures that this part wouldn't run unless the script is executed directly. Starting with the parser script, first thing we did was importing the RA module, that's Python's regular expressions library, and we'll use it to recognize patterns inside our logs. Next thing is creating a function called parseLine. What this function does is taking every unstructured log line and checking if it matches the regex pattern. If it matches it, it takes that raw log data and transforms it into a dictionary, basically giving each piece of that log a key and a value pair, like timestamp, user, or command. After that, there is a conditional statement that adds an extra field called action. Right now, it just checks if the log contains an incorrect password attempt or something else, but you can extend this to detect more actions later. Finally, inside the for loop, I added 2 more fields, command and target user, which give us even more details about who did the action and what command did he use. In the next script, we are reviewing the detector file. First thing we did is imported the JSON module and some other functions from the collections module and the datetime module, and then created an allowed users list, and as you can see, one of the users we can trust is Eminem, and then we defined the load logs function, and it would basically load the past logs into the script so we can use them. And then there is the detect failed logins function, and this one checks the timestamps of the past logs, and if there are 2 or more failed login attempts within a 10-minute window, it flags that activity as a brute force attack, and the alert would be stored in the alerts empty list. And then there is the detect sensitive commands function, and the first thing it does is checking if the user is inside the allowed users list. For an example of the user is called Eminem, which is a user that already exists in the allowed users list. The function would just skip that user, and the loop would continue checking the other past logs. And then the last loop checks if the value of the command key is existing in the keywords list, and if there is a match and the user isn't in the allowed users list, then this past log would be flagged as a sensitive command alert, and this would also be stored in the alerts list. And then we have the last function in the script with the name save alerts to file, and it basically creates a new file and stores in it the alerts we just made. And last but not least, we got the run script, and the first thing we did is importing all of the functions from the past scripts and also importing the JSON and sys modules. We are using sys.argv so we can pass in the log file we want to check directly from the terminal. Super handy if you want to analyze different files without touching the code. And then using a loop that would parse the raw logs and then creating a new file called logs.json where we would store the past logs, and then we defined a function by the name summarize alerts so the summary of the analysis would appear in the terminal. So let's begin testing our program. So as you can see, I ran the script, but there are no alerts yet because nothing suspicious was found. To test it, I'm gonna simulate a sensitive command and a brute force attack by typing one of the commands from our keyboards list 2 times in a short period of time. Now when we run the script again, you can clearly see that there are 2 sensitive command alerts by blood and 1 brute force alert by the same user. So basically that was the SIEM tool, nothing too crazy, and it only works through the command line, but you can scale it and improve it however you want. I hope that this video helped you in any kind of way. If you have any suggestions or you want to criticize my code, please do so in the comment section, and you would also find the code in my GitHub. And thanks for watching.